Guys, I hope everyone's doing well. Today I want to do a video on proteins. So I've had a lot of questions lately about people who are struggling to hit their macros, but mainly due to not having enough protein in their diet. And I do understand where you're coming from, and it can be really tough. So I just basically want to do a quick video on just talking about how to hit your daily proteins and how I do every day. So what works for me the best. And what I have on a daily basis in terms of to hit my protein every day. So at the moment I am on 180 grams of protein a day. Okay, so that's a lot. It's a fair amount. So I've got to bump it up. So what do I do? What is a normal thing for me to have in my daily life? I'm not a fan of breakfast. So for breakfast, 9 out of 10 every day, I am a protein shake man. I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, get out of the way, smash that day out, and then I have a protein shake. They are nice, guys. If you are interested, protein shakes are handy. They're quick, they're simple. They're only 200 calories and 9 out of 10 are pure protein. So maybe get it in your diet. Mine's vanilla, it's very nice. 40 grams of protein, so it's quite handy. But if I didn't have that, if it was like a weekend I didn't train, I would definitely have something along the lines of scrambled egg or boiled eggs on toast. If your carbs are low in your diet, just have one slice of toast and have something like 6 eggs. And they not six eggs. Have like one whole egg and 5 egg whites. You can do that on MyFitnessPal. That adds up to about 24 grams of protein, nearly 30 grams of protein just for that. Porridge in the morning is quite good. It is quite high in carbs. You can get protein and porridge combined in little pots. I can put a link underneath here. Things like Greek yogurt is brilliant in the morning as well. Total Zero Greek yogurt is what I have sometimes with just some berries and raspberries. There's 50 grams of protein in a whole tub of Greek yogurt, which is mental. Things like nuts are great. Breakfast is just a word, so you could wake up in the morning and have whatever you want. You can have steak if you really fancy it. It doesn't really matter. It's not going to ruin your results or affect your weight loss. So for lunch, it's kind of the same for me. I do like a ready meal sometimes because I'm very busy. I get Kirsty's, if no one's heard of her. Love her meals. But they're all balanced. So if I wasn't having a Kirsty's, I definitely would have something a bit more, I'd have my meat and I'd have my carbs, and they'd be very balanced out. So I'd have, like chicken breast with half a pack of rice. So it adds up to about 40 grams of rice, 40 grams of protein. So it adds up to about the same amount. But if you need to have more protein, have 2 slices of chicken breast. It doesn't really matter. Things like protein bars. Another great thing. I love Grenade Carb Killer. I can put a link for that below as well. They are lovely. They're very low in carbs and they're very high in protein. And they do taste really good. They are really handy. They bump your protein up as well. If you're snacking, if you're running around, things like chicken slices that are in the little blocks already made. You can just eat them cold and nibble them as you go. Sometimes I nibble on cooked ham. Try and get the good stuff. But this is my protein's low. There's loads of little bits you can get just to bump it up. But the main thing is whatever you're low on, just try and have more of that than the other thing on your plate. So for example, tonight I've got chili con carne, but with turkey mince, 2% fat. So it's very lean. So it's very, very high in protein. I'll probably have half a pack of turkey mince, which is about 50 grams of protein, probably 45. With some tomatoes, kidney beans, and a little bit of cauliflower rice, probably, because I quite like cauliflower rice. That's a very high protein dinner. I've already put that in, so I already know that it fits perfectly, but it actually leaves me a little bit of a gap for my carbs. So I might have some protein later because I didn't have such a high carb dinner. I had more of a high protein dinner. So you've got to hit your numbers, but you've just got to do what you can to get your protein up. I sent on the page, I put a little list of tons of different proteins you can have, but the problem is you've got to cook these, and I'm a man of habit with protein. I need to be quick and efficient or I'm in trouble. So things like protein shakes, protein bars, chicken breasts, steaks, cooked chicken in a box, nuts, even things like like porridge, for example, scrambled egg. I sometimes boil 10 eggs and then put them in the fridge and just have an egg as a go. If my fat's high, I just have the egg white because there's no fat. If my fat's low, I have the whole egg and it's fine. So there's loads of little things you can do just to bump your protein up. There's tons of little gems that help, but you've got to do it based on your lifestyle. So whatever you find you're not having protein with, if for example you're not having protein at lunch or breakfast, we need to think what can we do to bump the protein up on them days. Um, and then at the same time, once the protein gets higher, it's actually a lot easier to drop the carbs as well. I'm not saying you need to cut the carbs out, but for example, a lot of people have low protein days and high carb days. You see that a lot when people are counting calories. Fats vary. People are up and down with fats, but that's okay. As long as you're having the better fats, that's okay. As long as you're not going to eat a pizza, I won't know. Alright, so any other questions you have about this, just let me know. But that's kind of my tips on protein and what I would have and how it works for me. But there are loads of other little bits. Any other questions? If someone sees something that's really high in protein, things like beef jerky just popped into my head. Not my thing, but there's tons out there. Let me know and we'll share as a group and we'll help each other out really. Alright guys, well keep up the good work everyone in the group and I'm always here to help. See you later guys, bye.